Hey everybody, this is Mike, and today is December the 9th, 2020, and this is going to be a little bit of a different video. In fact, I was going to start with another video, and then when I was getting ready to do that, I realized that I needed to do a preface to that video, and so that's what we're looking at right here. So the video which I was going to create, I'm still going to create, is my 2020 gift guide, and that's stuff which I have for sale for people who give gifts for this time of year. But it occurred to me before doing that gift guide, maybe I should give a little bit of insight as to my relationship with things. You know, we're material beings, we got physical bodies, and, you know, we like material stuff. And I have a strong relationship with stuff. Like, I like stuff which I can hold, which I can feel in my hands. Texture is really important to me. And if I were to go and look a little bit deeper into like who and what I am, I think it's because I spend so much of my time, like, you know, whether in my head, in another world, you know, that sort of stuff. I really value material things which can keep me grounded in the here and now. And my relationship with stuff has kind of changed. When I was younger, you know, I always liked stuff. You know, maybe I was a little bit more immature, maybe a little bit more materialistic, maybe a little bit more status oriented. But as I've grown, as I've changed as an individual, my relationship with things has changed as well. If I have something, you know, one, I prefer to make it myself. Two, it's going to be meaningful. Three, it's going to hold a purpose. And four, it's going to be friggin' beautiful and awesome. And so I'm going to begin by walking through what is in my bag. You know, I'm going to go and switch the video camera, and I'm going to show you what's in my bag and walk you through it so you can get an understanding of maybe, you know, if you're finding it interesting, you know, what I carry with me and why I carry these things. And then, you know, keep your eye posted for the next video, which is going to be my gift guide. And these are things which I used to carry, which I no longer use, which I think are still beautiful, meaningful, and I think they're ready for a new home. So with that said, let's get started. All right, so let's get started here. I'm gonna start with maybe some more personal objects. This right here, this ball, I made this myself. It's made with leather. It is filled with rice, and how I made it was I took a tennis ball and I cut it out based upon the lines and used that as a template, and then cut out the leather, so it's a little bit smaller than a tennis ball. And this serves a couple of functions for me. One is it gives me something to do with my hands when I'm out and about. If I'm at a party, if I'm at a new place, like, you know, I like to be really kind of still and hide, and, you know, still in theory, and hide in the background. And but I've got all this energy. I always want to be moving, so this gives me something to do with my hands. I guess, like, in the same way, like a fidget spinner is very appealing to people. But this is, you know, more interesting because I made it. And this type of movement, you know, what I'm doing is, and what I really like to do is I throw it up high, and then I catch it on my hand, and I've gotten pretty good at it, but it teaches you how to move. So this here, this ball is really significant to me. And then here's this watch. Here's the watch I like to wear. It's a Hamilton watch. I purchased the watch because Hamilton is a watch company here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and at one point, like around the 1940s, it was the largest watch company on the planet. And it's named after the Rosicrucian who laid out Lancaster City, and I just thought that was kind of cool. And the model I have is like a chronograph. I really like to see how long I can hold my breath, so it's got a stopwatch on it. And I always like to see what my pulse is, you know, for whatever reason, so I use it for that. And a little interesting tidbit about this watch is, if you're familiar with the movie Interstellar, which deals with, amongst other things, like different dimensions, it is this exact watch, this model of watch, which is used in the film as a plot device which is the key from going from the fifth to the third dimension. And I already had this watch once I saw that movie, and I thought that was a, a fantastic synchronicity. This is something else I want to show. So these here are my boots. I've had these boots for 15 years, and they're still my primary footwear during winter. I've had them resold a couple times. They're probably expensive when I bought them. But the point is, like, the stuff which is on my body, if I don't make it, everything has meaning to me, and I keep things for a long time. So now we're going to come on to my bag, and I carry this bag with me everywhere I go. I've probably had it for about 5 or 6 years, and I love bags. I like to make my own bags, and I like, if I'm going to have a regular bag, it's going to be really high quality, and it's going to have meaning. I purchased this bag, one, because I like its real kind of like simple look. Everything that's included in this bag is has a purpose, and there's nothing which is I'm trying to think of how I'm going to pronounce the word. Extraneous, that's it, extraneous. There's nothing that is not needed. And the company that makes it, Go Ruck, it was started by this former Special Forces guy. I don't have a connection to military, not in my family or in my own experience, but I love the idea of special forces, because with special forces, if one is in special forces, they have to be unbelievably competent and amazingly have the ability to improvise with whatever situation with very, very little support. So I like this bag, and I got my Susquehanna Alchemy patch on it, because it represents that type of energy. When I carry this, I think of myself as like on a special forces mission here on Earth. So, okay, so let's open this bad boy up. Let's begin in here. So always you're going to have bags within bags, right? Probably the most important things for me are my notebooks. This notebook here, this organizes my life. This notebook here, this organizes my mind. Whenever I think of like a video or something I want to make, I lay it out on each one of these pages. This here is both a calendar, so I've got like my calendar, I just got this one. And then in the back part is like a notebook where I keep track of all the different things which I want to keep track of. Let's see if I can show this clearly. Now you can see all of these different things of how I manage all of my life. And I carry it around in my bag with me at all times. The back of this bag, what do we got here? I carry around some Susquehanna Alchemy stuff. This here is a booklet which I put together, which has like all of the information, so that if I'm ever just like meeting someone on the street, I can walk them through the Susquehanna mystery with pictures and all sorts of cool stuff like that. And so I carry this with me. I carry a copy of the Rights to the 40th Parallel. I always meet people on the street who want to buy these, so I always have one on my person at all times. What else do we have in here? Postcards. These are a little bit beaten up, but these are Susquehanna Alchemy postcards. We could see the Susquehanna River, the key spot of the 40th parallel. You could see the 40th parallel on the Susquehanna River. You could see the Invisible College, all these sort of good things. When you buy a copy of the Rights to the 40th Parallel, you also get the postcards. I mail those along with me. Here's an old notebook. I'm always changing the size of the notebooks. And this is, as I said, I track everything and I keep it all analog that way. Let's see. Oh, right here. So if you gotta have notebooks, you gotta have your bag of pens. I've got pens of different widths of the tips, because when you're writing in small notebooks, it's sometimes nice to have a really thin tip pen. Sometimes you want a broad one. Highlighter to cross things out. this little tape here to go make, to highlight pages, an eraser. I like to lay things out first in pencil, so we've got that. And let's see, is there anything else in here? Nope. So let's go into this bag right here. Now this bag, this was a U.S. Mint bag which they used to, I would imagine, transfer large quantities of coins. So this is $50 worth of pennies. And a friend of mine sent me this bag but with some stones in it, Paul, and I turned this bag into a drawstring bag because I thought it was a really friggin' cool bag. So let's go and see what's inside this. So you can see bags within bags within bags within bags within bags, bags, and bags. Oh, and bags. So you can see there's a lot of stuff I carry in here. And all of this, everything in here has a meaning for me. So I'll start right here, this one. This is, it's known as a Chinese writing rock. And maybe you could see, like right there is the only part of the stone you can see. And it's called that because of the natural shapes of the stone. It kind of looks like Mandarin characters. And I put on here, I put all of the English alphabet on it. And this stone is said to be good to assist with dreaming and with writing. So I like to carry this with me, and before I'm going to write, I might meditate with this with the intention of being clear in my thoughts. And so I made this little bag, which I carried in. And I think I've shown this before. This is a piece of anthracite from the Susquehanna River. I think I may have shown this one too. This is it's a pendulum I've made. I don't have pendulums for sale, different than this type. And if anyone purchases one of the pendulums, I'll explain how or some of the ways which you can use them. And I think I use them in ways which are a little bit unorthodox. But here we have that pendulum. Now in here, this bag, I have some more Susquehanna River stones. If you saw that video with the really strange stones in the river with those weird markings, this came from there. These stones did. They're small ones which I found. They've got a great feel, a great texture, and I like to have them around with me. And what's interesting is I was playing with these with a high-powered magnet, and there's no attraction. Like if you put a magnet on this, the magnet doesn't stick. But what you can feel is there's like almost like a repulsion, like when you have like magnet versus magnet. So I guess that implies there's some sort of strong magnetic field, or strong relative to, you know, being a stone. So we've got that there. These two bags are bags of my cards. And I like cards because cards are good for helping you tell your story, you know. As we walk life and as we're going through our day-to-day experiences, it's nice to have something external to help us better understand our situation, tools to help us tell the story. So this bag holds these two decks. This is the I Ching, and this is called the, I think it's called the Enchanted Map. And I've been using these cards for years, and I like them because of just, you know, how the story, the symbols which they have, which give me like a really interesting point of reference to begin to look at events of my life or other people's lives, and it provides a point of reference for storytelling. You know, if you've ever worked with cards, and if you ever worked with I Ching or anything like that, you know that there's something very, very mystical and magical when you go and you talk to cards and you like look for a response, whatever, however is behind it, even if it's meaningless. You can't get that out of your head, you know. It's still, it gets meaning, you know, that place where the inner world and the outer world meet, they affect each other. And so that's why cards are powerful tools. I just made this bag recently, and this is for a new set of cards. I've never used tarot cards before. I mean, I did when I was really young, but not since I've been an adult. But recently, I've been drawn to tarot, and so I got that deck, and I made a bag for it. This is still my primary, but I carry them around with me because, like, you know, when you carry something on your person, you know, not only do you have access to it, but you're connecting with it on your day-to-day business. And here is the first felt bag I've ever made. I just made this recently, and it's kind of a different material, and it feels different than obviously than leather, and it's got a different quality. And what I have in here are two stones, and these stones are both from this area. This is a piece of anthracite, a really interesting piece of anthracite. This piece is serpentine. This is serpentine from Maryland, or actually no, York County, that's where this is from, just on the other side of the Susquehanna River from where I am. They're both thin. I like the way the black and the green go together, and I like to hold them, and I meditate with them, and I use these a lot on that Susquehanna river map, which I made, and I put the cards on there. If I'm ever going to pull cards for myself or someone else, I use that as like the grounding location. Now these two bags are my primary bags for stones. This one here is a quartz. And this is a really unique quartz because it has two different qualities which are uncommon on one stone. One is, you could see, I don't know if you can see, but if you could see, there are two different growths coming out of it. This is known as a twin quartz crystal. And then this texture on the stone. I can never remember what it's called. It begins with an E. Celestial? I think it's celestial. And to have, you know, celestial is an interesting attribute to the stone. And then to have that, in addition to the twin aspect, makes this a very, very special stone. And I like to meditate with this. I personally like a book entitled Love is in the Earth by Melody. I found that to be the best book for understanding metaphysical properties as it relates to stones, but I often go by my own intuition, you know, just what I feel I want to have with me to meditate, to ground me, what have you. But that's a book I definitely recommend. But I carry this stone. I've had this stone for probably, I don't know, like at least 5 years. And when you have a bag, not only does it protect it, but it also, you know, it makes it even more special. And then this here is my primary bag. It's a very special one. I've got 3 different crystals in here. It's a really interesting bag. I like this design a lot. The main one is this Herkimer Diamond. And then I have these 2 other ones. This is, they call this Super 7 because it has 7 different minerals within it. Has a great texture. I love how it feels. And then there's this one, which is known as a Lumerian, I can't remember what it's called. It's got these lines on the side, which, no, I think that's why it's Lumerian, from the lines on the side. But it's also a singing stone, you can hear. That tone in which it makes, it's the clear crystal that makes that sound, and that's also a special type of stone. And so I like to use these stones for a variety of reasons, but ultimately just having them around I find to be very grounding as I do the walk of life, you know, as we all do. So this is what's in my bag. This is the level of thought which I bring to my stuff, and as you watch the next video, the video of the gift guide, I want you to be aware that, you know, what I'm going to have available for you guys is all things which I've carried with me at some point that have some degree of meaning and reminds me of, and hopefully for whoever are going to be the owners of them, of the sacredness of, you know, being in physical form, of being alive, and just the beauty of the material world. So hopefully this is a good video for you guys, and this is Mike, and I'm checking out now.